Sweet. So this is Public Goods Party, which is a decentralized fork of Gitcoin grants. It's kind of the next continuation of D grants. It's basically going to be a part of the greater Gitcoin grants 2.0 ecosystem, where kind of everything works in layers, and people can fork this to make it fit their own DAO's theme, their own DAO's whatever, and they can connect it to kind of part of this whole ecosystem, because all the different contracts kind of work that there are different rounds that people can participate in, but they're all kind of connected to this one central registry, which is where all grants are and where it's all stored. So kind of, this first page is the Grant Explorer. So this is where people can view grants, and here we just have kind of a simple view where we have the name of the grant up here. So for instance, I made this grant, it's the tubular grant. This other one is called Donate to Me! And we have the creators and payees. And so the creator is the person that actually made the grant, submitted the metadata, everything on it. The payee is the person who's going to be receiving the donations for the grant. And kind of how this works is this will either be, a person if you want it to, or it can be like a DAO treasury, DAO war chest kind of deal. And you can even have something set up where it's kind of going to be distributed into streams or however you see fit, right? And it's an address. And so these grants they contain an ID within the actual grant registry contract. And then from that ID, we also have a metadata hash, which is the IPFS hash of the metadata. So that way, when you want to get a finer view of something, you can open it up and see the description plus a website plus whatever else you want to add. Currently, I just have this picture of a monkey on every single one of them, because when I was building it out, I made the registry metadata very, very simple. So this is just kind of a showcase of how it would look if you had a picture there and some other small stuff. So I guess while we're dogfooding, let's go ahead and try and actually make a grant. So we'll call this, we'll call it Dogfood Grant. And the website will be gitcoin.co. This is a grant live made while dogfooding. And we'll go ahead and assign myself as the owner address as well as the payee address. And we should be able to upload this, and then it should get published to the front here once this transaction is finished. So let's go ahead and roll our thumb, or wait patiently to roll our thumbs. And does anybody have any questions up until this point? All right, I'm gonna take that as a no. So now we can go ahead and see that dog grant is live within the grant registry, and we can look and we can see all the metadata was indeed put in there correctly. So one thing, actually, hold on, now that I'm realizing this, I believe, actually, yeah, I think that there's one thing missing from that view. All right, we'll figure that out. So on to the next thing. So within this ecosystem as well, we want to allow DAOs to make their own rounds that they can, match funding for. So, traditionally we have people like Gitcoin who do the rounds, but this kind of allows and opens up, rounds and matching rounds for people outside of it, and makes it very, very simple to do. So, to make grant rounds, you give it a title, website, description, some normal metadata stuff for it. Round owners and round payees are similar. And then we're also going to go ahead and choose a type of donation token. And so this is going to be the token that the funds that are matched for the donations are going to be dispersed in. And we have to choose this on creation for some of the logic in the back end. And we also give, starting and end dates for it. And from this, we can have people make their own grant rounds, allocate funds for it, and then distribute it after the round has been completed. And then kind of the final pane, I guess, is the donation view. So this is pretty straightforward, but actually it's pretty cool. So when you make a grant and when you make a grant with this, you have to declare a donation or a donation token that you want to use. And basically what this is this is the type of token that you're going to be receiving your donation in. So if you only want to get paid in DAI or GTC or anything else, you choose this when you create your grant, and then automatically, no matter what donation token or no matter what token somebody is donating in, it's going to automatically get swapped and donated to the grant using the Uniswap Auto Router SDK. Or not SDK, but the Uniswap Auto Router. And kind of why this is cool and what this allows us to do is it allows us to have very gas efficient donations for, particularly large amounts of cash. Because if you're doing large swaps with Uniswap and you're just interacting directly with pools, oftentimes you can have a fair amount of slippage or gas fees that are optimal. And the auto router basically allows us to find the optimal route to send these tokens to. So that way we're getting the most, value out of these donations and out of these swaps. So that way we're not losing value to slippage or, pushing all of our money into a single pool when it could instead be split up between 3 different pools, or 25% in one pool, 50% in another, 25% in another. And so kind of how this works is we can go ahead and make a donation, I suppose. So first we would need to select something. So let's choose this. So we'll add to our cart. For now, the cart's just kind of on the back end. It's stored in a variable within our website, and we can then go ahead and choose a donation token. So here in my Rinkaview wallet, we'll donate some. I think I have some. Yeah, we'll donate some Uniswap. There's some Uni tokens. So we'll go ahead and choose Uni, and we'll donate 0.001 whole Uni tokens. And the prices are all messed up on Rinkaview because it's like not real, kind of. And we'll go ahead and match it against one of the current active. Well, I guess right now it's the only current matching round. And then we'll go ahead and donate, and we'll wait for it to do its thing, and then it should pop up with transaction request once the call is done. And thing. So first we're going to go ahead and approve our Uni for this donation. And that's going to go ahead and go through. And wait. And now once the approval has gone through, it's going to go ahead and fetch the optimal route, and then it's going to prompt us again. And then once this is good, it's going to get a gas price, whatever. And then it's going to donate that. And then, actually, I probably should have planned this a little bit better as far as fetching the balances for the donation address, but it'll then swap those tokens for the plan token, and then it'll donate them to the actual user. So that's kind of a view kind of what we have right now, and then we're going to be changing it up a little bit and kind of fleshing it out a little bit more. Now it's in MVP state, but getting here then.
Wow, that was great, Alex. That was truly great. And thank you for demoing everything. Let's put some claps in the chat. Let's drop them. Let's drop a bunch of them. Yeah, exactly. That was some legit stuff. Does anyone have any questions for Alex?
I have a question, Alex, about for the Grant Explorer part. Is there like a plan to kind of make that into an API, or would you put that up for, say, connected to Graph protocol and like make that like an exposable endpoint that people could make other apps off of? I know Owaki was kind of talking about having like enabling other groups to curate or make like interfaces for grants. Is that in the talks right now, or how do you think about that?
Yeah, so basically the current kind of way it works, and also my internet is being very slow on my end.
On my side, you're cutting in and out. I'm not sure if that's for everyone else as well.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Here, I'm gonna actually get up and I'm just gonna move, but I'm just gonna grab my laptop and we can walk and talk. One sec. Wow. So yeah, basically the kind of way that it works is that, hold on, it's just, I think I'm kind of far away from the router. I'm like in our college's study hall, so we'll see. Maybe it'll get better if I walk over here.
Yeah, you sound a lot better, by the way. And no worries. I've been dealing with internet issues my entire life, and I think everyone here knows that as well. So.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of how it works is we have the central grant registry contract, which contains the grant ID as well as the metadata for each of these grants, and whenever somebody creates a grant round event is emitted. I mean, a grant emitted event or grant created event is emitted. And so indexing through the, this through the graph and having some sort of endpoint is definitely possible. And then because we consolidate all of the grant information on a single registry contract, it makes it extremely easy for anyone to pull this data, because we have this function get all grants, which returns an entire list of each grant, their ID, as well as the metadata associated with it. So does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that sounds sick, because eventually, say you want to do an analytics on all the grants, you could, I'm assuming, like you could just upload the contract to Dune and then just query it as you want.
Yeah, for sure. It's super simple. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my question. Thanks. Great demo.
Yeah, great work, everyone. Umar, I think you had a question as well, right?
Yep. Hey, I have two questions. One, let me just say, I think this is a really cool product, and I'm excited to see like big people in the ecosystem, big projects like maybe like Optimism run their own grants funding round. That would be really exciting. One question I have, the first question I have is like, today's Gitcoin grants have like these, fixed time limits where it's like, the round lasts for like 2 weeks. Will grant round creators have the ability to do that, or do they already on the site? And then the second question, well, I guess I can just stop there.
Yeah, sorry. So I kind of cut you off there with my facial expressions. But yeah, no, so the grant rounds, and I can share my screen again, but when you create a grant round, so a matching round, you do have to declare a start endpoint and a finish point. And so kind of whenever you're donating to a grant and you're trying to match or trying to include an active matching round, it'll reject the transaction if the block timestamp is past the endpoint. And also it'll, you have to make it start in the future, so you also can't create it retroactively or something. And so, yeah, there are fixed time periods in which you can, make donations to a grant along, or, while I guess being a part of a matching round, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. That's super cool. Second question is, the donation view thing is really awesome to let like grants people accept whatever token they want to. And the Uniswap auto router sounds dope. I was wondering if you like batch transactions when you do that, or is it like each individual transaction that comes in gets swapped?
So in its current state, I have like a whole version of the Uniswap router API going. For its current state, though, we're only allowing one transaction at a time, just for like simplicity's sake within the cart view, just because I haven't really implemented it out fully. We just kind of wanted to make sure it was working for MVP stuff. But yeah, no, definitely batch swapping donations will be a thing, because the donate function within the grant round manager contract allows you to batch swap donations. And so you can have basically an array of donation objects which contain all of the data in which to do these swaps from. And yeah, so you only submit one transaction containing all your donations and all your tokens, and then it'll swap that automatically and deposit it into the grant payee's address.
Super hype. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to use it.
Yeah, Alex, that was a great demo of the MVP. And I'm excited to see how it fits into like the Grants 2.0 roadmap and really like where people can take it from there. Sweet. Yeah, let's put some claps one more time for Alex. I think that was a great demo and everything.